Hey,
Hey man. Hey, welcome to Bodega Nights. I'm Joao. We got Miko and we got Norm. So just like a little bit of just so that we get how it's going to look. I'm once again to the right, upper right, Miko is upper left, and Norm once again is the invisible man
Is
on the
on the
bottom.
bottom.
Yeah.
he's a good power bottom.
Well, we're gonna say um since we don't have Martin with us today, we need to have somebody messing around with like uh the virtual backgrounds
Something.
and all of that because we don't have Martin
I
with
like
his
how
Zorro
the
thing going
soft.
on, right? Like
I do like how the software decided that Norm's face is the one that has to be removed.
it's terrible.
Right.
It's like
It's like
scanning
somebody in
background for.
Zoom.
Yeah, this is Zoom.
Yep,
Oh,
scanning
that
background,
Like somebody
removing
has designed.
unimportant material.
that's really messed up, dude.
Right.
I like how
It's
your
not
teeth
even my
show up
shirt. It's
though,
not my background. It's me.
deleting in like unimportant item. Peek.
Identified green screen. Rendering now.
I do like how your teeth apparently show up.
Oh
Right.
yeah, they do, huh? That's pretty cool.
Again, apparently just the rest of it is like unimportant, but your teeth are fine.
Now, if an actual background that is just black, that would be freaky.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey guys, so how you guys been doing?
Man, how
How's
was your week?
life? Uh, Interesting. Lots and lots of techie issues because I have to set up some things for the office that have to do with streaming. And I have to use a laptop that's from 2010, using equipment from 2011, using stuff from 2005, hoping to sell something in this modern day era. Should be fun.
Oh, it's
I'm
streaming,
literally
so
use
oh no, go ahead.
yeah, I'm literally using this whole thing to capture pretty much the video and just run it through a different laptop and everything else just to try to run it smoother. Because the thing we're running it out of, it probably cannot handle like the transitions by itself. So we have two computers there just to try to run things a little better.
Yeah, that's kind of how some streamers will do it, right? Like they have the powerful computer
Yep.
to play the game, then they have their less powerful computer that is
Set up for streaming.
essentially for streaming it over the internet, right?
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's actually something I will be seriously looking into probably in the next like 2-3 months. That's also an excuse for me to buy the new card. I shall put my less powerful GPU into the streaming computer.
But then you
It
got a
is
new
technically
did you got a new card, Miko, right?
not a new card. Like this card's from I got this last year when I built it. I have the 2080 Ti.
Okay.
So that's why I've been getting the memes nonstop from my friends who keep telling me about like, oh, how do you feel about getting the 2080 Ti when this thing came out? Which my usual answer is this some sort of peasant joke? I'm too rich to understand. But I'll say the benchmarks have been crazy. The thermal stuff, everything, like wow. The only thing that kind of irks me is the fact that it uses like 70, 80 watts more than my current GPU. So it like runs 350 watts.
But
Mm.
That is
apparently
a
the 3080, the new one that you might want to look into getting, still can't run the new Crisis and the new stupid mode they call Can It Run Crisis.
but can it run Microsoft's Flight Simulator? That
Ah,
seems to be the new like benchmark for some things is Microsoft Flight Simulator, which apparently can run in 4K. It's like, why? Okay, this seems cool.
Well,
were,
because
were
it's
they
an
able to
enterprise
get
thing,
like
right? Oh, go ahead, Norm.
But yeah, I think I saw that the max setting for the Can It Run Crisis mod is it can run everything maxed out using a 3080, not the 3090, 3080, and it'll run at 27 to 32 frames. Which, in fairness, probably as well as anything could run original Crisis back then, if it could even run it. I actually forgot how horribly like not what's it like unoptimized is unoptimized a word? Not optimized, unoptimized.
Not optimized. Yeah,
Not optimized. That game was. It's just apparently they
Yeah.
tried running it. Apparently it uses 4 gigs worth of memory once you max it all. Original Crisis. Back in the day when we had video cards that were barely pushing 512 MB. I want to know how they play tested that.
Speaking of like maxing stuff out, we had exams over the weekend and it was so bad. Like our kids had their midterm exams for a couple of subjects and we were meant to like proctor, and it was really really weird.
How so?
Like we
Like
had
how?
the way it worked was we had like 4 students assigned to each teacher, and these 4 students used a different video call like platform.
Oh, okay.
So like I
Oh.
had Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Messenger, and OBS. Open, not OBS. Discord.
Wow, okay.
Open. Right. So like all 4 of them, and like one student on each platform. They were sharing their screen just to show that they weren't alt tabbing into like their answers, and they had their webcams on as well. And
That's why you have the second screen that gets you all your answers.
yeah, that was the thing, man. That was like that was like, man, you guys really didn't think this through, because like the second screen, my second screen right here is where I'd put the notes, right? And
Yeah.
this is the screen that I would share with all of the answers. So, you know, that was terrible. And
It works with the honesty system.
yeah, honesty system pretty much. And it was one of those times where 8 gigabytes really is 8 gigabytes of RAM really is sort of the minimum. Because
Yeah, okay, I can get that.
we're running at like 6 gigs of RAM for all four of those, plus OBS, because that's how I get my camera. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to complain about that because they made us go to work on a weekend.
Oh, it's
Before-
the weekend. Okay, I thought it was like
Yeah.
during like Friday or something.
No, Saturday, man. So they made us go to work on a weekend, proctoring an exam that was really easy to cheat on.
Well, I mean, again, if they're just saying, "Oh, just share a screen so you can monitor it," like, you seem to not fully understand how computers and lots of these things work now. I mean,
Yeah.
even if I did have a second screen, I could literally just have a. I mean, I have this. I have a smartphone right over here on my computer where I can monitor chat. That alone can really give me all the things I need.
Right? So I don't know, man. A nice shot like this. The notebook is like right here. You know? Like, okay.
We should ask them. We need to set up a secondary webcam that just goes over the shoulder. This goes right here, so we see your keyboard, screens, and everything else.
Yeah, I was like,
We also need to track your eyeballs.
yeah.
Oh God, eyeball
messed
tracking.
up, dude. We were like, all right, so these
Big
so
brother.
so essentially we're using like Big Brother tactics here. Okay. It's really messed up, right? Because I have multiple screens, or I have multiple monitors, right? So having a number of different having a number of different video feeds made me feel all like Big Brother. Like, oh my God, this doesn't feel comfortable at all. You know?
Staring at everyone like, I must grade you all, and I will fail you in an instant. Do you also have like a way to just like tap
Right.
into their speaker? It's like, you, what are you doing? Focus on your work. It's like a booming voice.
Yeah. Sort of like well, if there are in case of announcements, right? Like they have their computers unmuted, mics are unmuted. That way I can hear if anybody's telling them the answers or whatever. But again, it was, oh my God, honesty system should hope honesty system works. Oh my God. I just realized
I mean, that's
the background is
that honestly
in green.
seems yeah.
No, go ahead. I'll just like
I mean that honestly seems
usually
pretty
good.
much how the tracking is doing now, right? For the tracing for COVID and things. Like, we need you to sign up these papers. Please don't lie on them.
Yeah, pretty much.
The same way, like, someone announced, like, if you lie on your forms, we could sue you. To which IBC said, if they're lying on their forms, how do you know who to sue?
Oh, I just realized this is a really bad idea because I have green screen, right? So if I turn that green, like,
Is it a bad idea or is it a really good idea?
Booga. Nits.
Like put
bugging
up,
it.
put up the Batman signal or something.
That's really cool.
The bat signal in the back. That'll be good.
You have a smoky background.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do that. Just get like
bothering me, though.
that set up just like in the corner of my room, just to have like the different colors going on. Just because, again, this is probably the most boring thing in the world. Like in my back right now, you see a couch with a random mattress on it, and like other things.
So a green screen is next for you, Miko?
No, I mean just
we go.
because of NVIDIA broadcast, I can remove my things without green screen. A fantastic
show
new addition
us.
to the drivers.
It's actually
Oh,
pretty
that thing
cool.
there. Yeah, I mean, watch.
It's baked right into
Let's
it.
see. Wait. It's over here. Look, it's awesome. On,
Privacy.
and off. On, off. On, off.
So
You've
did
seen
you have
the
to
video.
did you have to cut out your outline or
No, not
does
at
it
all.
automatically detect?
All my does everything.
That's
Actually,
so cool yet so
you just-
creepy.
Yep. And you know,
AI.
unlike Zoom, it identifies what's important, and it's this. For Norm,
the
Zoom
couch.
identifies that your teeth are important, but not the rest.
That's so bad.
I'm so
Specifically
creeped out
for
by that.
Miko.
What is
Here's
it
how it
figuring? What's it basing it off? Like it sees your face and figures, "Yep,
So
this is
bad.
what we remove."
Yeah, that's what's green for me. I don't know. I think it's like Zoom is specifically for the context of Miguel's here and he's always noticing the windows. Zoom is just specifically muting me out just to
And
be able
making
to
more windows.
focus the windows.
If we took a screenshot of your place without like the EU on it and just made that your virtual background, will you just disappear? Will you just be like floating eyes?
Maybe.
But yeah, I love this new equipment, new technology. Actually, it's one thing I have to say, probably with the pandemic, is there's a big push for lots of new digital tech, lots of new hardware, lots of new everything.
Yeah.
And with the sudden people buying all the computer parts, suddenly all these developers now, we have money, we have so much income flow. Let's develop stuff.
And it's insane. If you've been keeping up with like a lot of the tech news, some of the stuff that's been going on is just crazy.
Actually, I want to know what's happening in the Linux section because suddenly everyone has time to work on stuff. A lot of time.
Yeah, well, it's just usual stuff going on. Something interesting. Say like what's it?
Like that movie video. It looks like that
Nvidia.
music video.
Nvidia bought AMD or something. ARM bought ARM. Nvidia
not
bought
yeah, they bought
ARM.
AMD.
Yeah, they wouldn't buy AMD. They bought ARM. Sorry about that. Which is kind of
Chipset?
crazy. Yeah.
Well, they
This
wanted
just
new
shows
things.
how
Actually,
much
what
money
surprised me, the
NVIDIA
NVIDIA.
has.
Actually, the weirdest thing that NVIDIA is doing right now is the new GPU they released.
Mhm.
Their Founders Edition is nothing like their blanks, apparently. It's nothing like the actual thing they made. Because usually they make their Founders Edition, which just has better parts, better little thing here. But essentially, it's the same design. No, the
Mhm.
Founders Edition is a completely different design. So anyone looking to water cool, wow, I have no idea what you're planning to do. But still, it's actually the heat control is amazing. It runs cooler than my current GPU, which is
Keep it
kind of
out,
crazy because it requires more power, pushes more things, but somehow runs about 3 or 5 degrees colder.
And imagine what ARM technology is going to do to Nvidia's heat moving forward.
Oh yeah, right now what they're doing with the smooth through stuff is pretty amazing. And just that it's making me just want to buy the new 3090. But I'm looking, I have no real reason to because all they're showing is like, hey, you can do 4K gaming. My screen does not do 4K. You can do 8K gaming. I cannot afford said screen.
Yeah.
And you can't really stream 8K gaming.
Oh no, not at all. I don't think there's any platform that was like, how much bandwidth do you want? What's the bitrate you're pushing? No.
How many euros you got? No.
But it's interesting how they're now trying to push 1440 as the new 1080.
Why not?
Yeah.
Because like all the benchmarks pretty much like, oh, they expect you to play on 1440, not 1080 anymore. Especially now that they're pretty 1440 screens with 260 refresh rate. I'm just saying, like, really,
my
wow.
Samsung screen has the maximum at 1440.
Okay, and the refresh rate is what?
Max.
Oh, the 1440. Yeah.
It's a 1440 max dimension, but it's pixel size.
And
But I don't think the refresh rate is gonna be anything close to gamer levels.
Oh yeah, it's
'Cause it
actually
wasn't
fine
really
weird
designed for
how.
that.
I remember I was so happy getting 60 because back when I was gaming on the Mac, getting like a solid 35 frames was amazing. Then we get 60, like, yes. But now I'm like, if it goes below 110, I'm like, what is this garbage? What is this?
Yeah.
Then I see my nephew like
Actually, what I'm
freaking
looking
gaming
forward
at
to-
300 frames.
What
Yeah,
I'm hoping
300
for,
frame gaming, like what?
I'm actually looking forward to what was that? What the ramifications are for this new technology from Nvidia and Samsung. What effects it'll be having on laptops coming up soon? Because
Oh, the
video
chipsets,
video
yeah.
cards are now cheaper. Yeah,
Yeah. And
like gaming laptops should be cheaper soon.
and funny thing that, and this is sort of ARM related as well. Apple is moving to their what's it? The silicon system on chip thing, which is sort of based on ARM, which is kind of crazy as well. Because like the old Intel like MacBooks have this problem of overheating apparently.
Oh yeah, especially if you get now even the new ones. If you get an i9 laptop, it can't even use the maximum processing power because it overheats too quickly.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
That's why they're moving away from Intel, right? And they're using their in-house sort of ARM-based processors, which
Man, remember when
is quite
AMD used to be
interesting.
the hottest stuff?
Now it really is the hottest stuff.
Oh, and AMD.
No, that
Apparently
goes to
Intel's not
Intel.
Yeah, Intel's now. Oh, AMD, we can fry an egg. Intel. Ha ha ha.
Hold my egg.
Here's the steak that goes with it. We
Have
can
you tried
boil
them?
your tea.
Have you guys tried using those Ryzen chips? They're supposed to be pretty good.
I'm actually using a Ryzen chip. I have the 3900X on me right now.
Nice. Yeah, because I'm thinking of moving away from Intel, and because like everything that I've had has always been like an Intel chip of some kind.
That's like the funny thing there. Same thing has been Intel a lot, and I kind of wanted to, and I had AMD stuff, whatever, just stupidly hot. I'm thinking, man, I can finally go full Intel system. Then AMD comes out all these other things. Like, well, I'm back to AMD. Bye, Intel.
Right? I don't know, man, and
Just the pricing and the value you're getting. I can't justify like the purchase of the i9s at all versus the 3900s.
yeah, that's the thing. It's your value for money when it comes to a Ryzen chip is off the charts, really.
Yep.
Like, I don't know.
Kind of like the new GPUs. Really, I'm looking like, wow, it is insanely cheap. The only thing though that I'm looking at it, I don't think people realize how big those new GPU cards are. Like, it's like, when I saw apparently like compared to my current card, it's like, wow, my case is just enough to fit that thing in.
Yeah.
So you need
wanna-
what, a mid
You
tower?
need a large. I currently have a full tower right now. It's the smaller side of the
Okay.
full tower, but I'm looking like, wow, you are a chunky card. But I kind of hate the wiring. I really, really hate the wiring. It's in the middle of the card, and I think I'm lucking out that if I do change it, my PCU actually is set to use that weird 12-pin thing. Because not even using 8 pins, now 12-pin thing because 350 watts of power.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't really need to upgrade, you can, since this is the first gen of the new technology.
Oh no, I don't plan
Wait
to
for the next
upgrade
one.
right now. I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, everyone's enjoying the 3080s. I'm going for the 3090s. I'm gonna see how these go. Then I'll wait for the next step of that 3090.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, because they're
that's-
going to be working out the kinks.
But I'm kind of hitting that wall again, where I'm looking at this like, if 1440 is going to be the new thing, I don't mind. I can run 1440, but I would say, oh, you should do 4K gaming. Like, what kind of screen do you think I have?
Yeah.
But you can do 4K. Like that's cool. I'm not going to appreciate that with a 27-inch screen or a 30-inch screen. I have a 4K screen over there for my PlayStation because it's like a massive 65-incher, and like that's when 4K looks great. But if I put 4K into like a small screen, it's like, okay. It's like when they told me, hey, the iPhone, you can watch things 4K. Like, I'll be honest. I am not going to notice the difference with a screen that tiny.
Yeah, actually.
I like how Miko goes like
that's
4K
true.
and it's like this small.
You know, it's a 4K thumbnail. Oh, look at that. If I really, really focus in, I can almost see a pore.
Yeah.
It's a thing that I always find interesting when people start pushing all these things, not realizing. You realize if you go this way, all your hardware can't do anything with it, right?
I mean,
So what's
that's
a good-
the thing? That's the thing that I've been complaining about when it comes to like internet connections and stuff. Like, people just don't.
Oh yeah, I remember that from the one of our last podcasts where people are, why is it so slow? When is your router from the year like 2004, 2008? That might be your first problem.
Yeah, so I
And
don't know.
are your
That's-
wires are from the time they invented Ethernet cables? That's your next problem. And of course, the other part is your motherboard in your computer, if you're game on the computer, able to even recognize what you're feeding it?
Yeah, so it's just, that's the thing, or that's a thing. But
And
I don't know.
that will never change. I don't think that'll change anytime soon. But I am amazed how much people are now adapting to new tech. New business are now developing the whole work at home things now become such a norm that I'm kind of wondering, will it actually leave once we actually get things into the world somewhat sorted out? I feel like with that thing so developed, like this might be the new thing for a lot of people where if your job really doesn't need you to be physically there and you now have the infrastructure at your home to handle it, will you be asked to physically go back to the office?
Yeah, I mean that was something that some of my buddies and I from work were really happy about when this whole thing started. All of a sudden, those administrators that had meetings that could have been emails or memos,
Are now emails and memos.
they're now just emails and memos, and I absolutely love it. And I'm pretty
No,
sure
no,
that
it's all those meetings have become Zoom meetings.
oh, that's so sad.
Oh, mine are emails. Mine are emails and Viber chat groups.
Yeah, so it's
But that is a good case. for
it's
Joao.
pretty good, right? It's pretty good. We're gaining a lot of time. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people see the benefit of, say, not having to go for that daily commute that takes like 4 or 5 hours of your day.
Oh, yeah. Not just that. Again, you start realizing how much of your job does not have to be done in a physical office space anymore. I mean, I do see
Yeah.
immediate limits. Like, I don't like how I can't immediately go to my creatives guy and kind of work with him directly while he's on his PC. Because that's kind of how we do things quickly. Okay, don't send me the email. Let's just work on this together. Like, okay, fix this. Okay, we're good. Obviously, I
Yeah.
can't do that now because it's going to be a little difficult. And if you want to do screen sharing, of course, there's the whole bandwidth issue, which, oh God, when the school started, I was so worried that net was just going to become so scruffy because of the sheer
Yeah.
amount of people currently online at the same time.
Yeah.
Did you suffer from the lower, what is that, dimensions that Netflix was implementing in the early parts of the pandemic, Miko?
Which one's that one? Like, they were like, they were trying to lower down like the bandwidth or something.
Yeah, they
I'll
were
be
trying
honest.
to.
But things I was watching really didn't bother me much because they were not meant to be shown in 4K. Like lots of films I watch were like from my childhood, so them just pushing 720 would be amazing.
Yeah,
Not even a horizontal ratio.
yeah. But
I'm pushing a
I
total
don't
of
know.
22 frames. Yeah.
Yes.
How was say for example, but like going back to working from home, um, like when I'm checking papers, for example, I would love to do that from home more than anything else. Like
Well, I mean, now you
after,
do.
yeah, but say like after an exam week or something, we still have to show up at the office the week after that, and that
Oh,
is
okay.
right. That is protected time for checking, and so we just sit at our desks and we check papers. That's 2 hours of my day, like to and from the office, that could have been saved if I just did all of that work from home.
What's that? You have actual papers that you have to grade? Like, I thought it would be all like
Well,
soft, like files.
I'm talking about like back in the day.
Oh, back in the before times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back in the before times, which apparently people are now using unironically.
PC before COVID.
The before times. The thing I miss most about the before time, it's kind of weird, is being able to order food at 2 a.m.
Yeah, man.
It's like, it's 2
Or
a.m.
being
I'm
able
gonna
to
get some
go
chicken.
drive. Yeah.
Or being able to go out at 2 a.m. and have
Yeah.
something like open,
Mm.
right? Like
Yep.
I used to do that. There was a silog place near the house, and 2 in the morning,
Well,
three in
man,
the
used to
morning.
do so many
Dang.
things like early morning. Now it's kind of like, what's the point? Even if you're like a early riser, this is not even the earliest things that open. Earliest things what open up at 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's
So
really no
it's
point in it because hey, curfew here it's like starts at like it ends at 5 a.m. Yeah, it doesn't mean stores open at 5 a.m. People have to leave their homes to get there.
yeah. I
But
don't know.
man, I miss 2 a.m. like fast food. Like I'm gonna go to McDonald's, I'm gonna go to Jollibee, go to these places 24 hour. You see these 24-hour signs, like what's like you see like children. What did that mean? Back in the before times.
Now,
24
one
hours meant they never closed.
uh, part of the reason I liked Manila so much and didn't have too much of an issue with Manila traffic was because I was never driving in
So you're
Manila.
never part of the traffic.
I was never part of the traffic, but like we did drive around, but it was always at what 12,
Midnight.
11. Yeah, like midnight. Pick up Norm from like Makati at 11 or 12 in the evening, and it's like, wow, there's no traffic in Makati, right? Hang out
That
until
kind of reminds me that
3.
I live there. Pretty much like, hey, as long as you never are part of the traffic, it seems pretty great.
Yeah. So I don't know. It 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 kind of makes me miss all of that. Like
Miss the traffic,
no, it makes
time
me miss
outdoors.
it makes me miss like driving around, Ed's at 3 in the morning. You know.
Oh yeah. Some of my friends have
I mean,
gone out past
I've actually
curfew.
tried that.
Is it anything like it
I've
was
actually
back
tried
when
that
we were
driving
gone?
like
Oh, back in the back when now
back in the before times.
when was I in Manila? 2008 ish.
Before
2008,
before.
2009. Like driving around Ed's at 3 or 4 in the morning was it wasn't too much by way of traffic. But I don't know what it was like earlier this year at the end of last year. So you know,
Actually, yeah. How are they?
Driving in
Oh,
Manila is
curious. Something about Manila. So, did you also join the random crowd of people trying to see that small bit of beachfront?
I don't get
The
it.
memes are
no.
spicy, and I love them.
I don't get it. Right, we've
Everybody's
transitioned
been
into
like,
like we've transitioned into the outrage part of the podcast.
I find it less
I
outrageous
don't
and
know.
it's more like I am amused by the memes. Just essentially that photo of everyone with their cameras and then people just put random photos like social distancing is dead.
Yeah, just
Oh,
for context, right? There were pictures that surfaced of people hanging around in like very densely packed, right? In along Ross Boulevard to see the unveiling of that Dolomite terrible idea beach,
Dolomite.
Manila
Yeah.
Bay. And I don't know. I wasn't able to follow the narrative or anything. It just
About
seems
the
really
same.
dumb.
It's kind of spotty for me too. I'm just amused by all the memes are just rushing down like, look at this, look at this. I'm like, I think my favorite one is Manila boasts so much about their amazing buildings and are somehow excited by fake sand. It's like, like we
yeah.
have a lot of that real sand over here.
We don't
The
have
most
real sand
common one
over
I
here,
see.
dude. This is Cebu. We're limestone.
We have some sand.
You
It's
see
a
that
lot more
sand?
real than the Dolomite.
You see that sand in
It's more
Shangri-La?
organic.
All of that came from somewhere else, right?
At least it's
That
not
beachfront.
Dolomite, except for one area here.
So I don't know. I don't know. We don't have sand. We have like little pebbles,
I mean, what is sand?
littler pebbles.
I was wondering that apparently sand, like my geologist friends, that geologist the thing that they're saying they say dirt and stuff. Apparently to
Yeah.
them, sand is a weird concept because sand is like when you see, grab a pile of sand, look at that thing through a microscope. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of different stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah.
for them,
I can
sand
see
in
that.
a weird way does not exist in their categories.
So it's like for them, it's like ground, rock, soil,
It's just
and
a whole.
everything
It's like
else.
very fine
Shells.
particles like shoved together.
It's
Hmm.
stuff.
It's ocean dust.
Yeah.
Something
I
like
was gonna
that.
say. I was gonna say it's like dust, which is what dead skin and like
Since you say it's a
parts
whole
of
bunch of weird
bugs
stuff.
and whatnot
Though I
smushed
also do
together.
love the whole people saying it's not even white sand, which kind of irks me as someone who does hand a hotel. The term white sand doesn't mean you'll see stuff like in Hawaii or Fiji. White sand is a particular type of sand, which they also can't call Dolomite white sand because it's actually not sand, nor is it white. But it has nothing to do with its color per se. It is a certain type of sand. There are like three kinds of white sand. And not all
Hey,
white
Miko,
sand is
all
actually
sand
white.
matters, man.
Not to geologists, they say it doesn't matter at all. It's not real, like the moon.
All sand matters. You can't differentiate between white and not white and not and whatever dolomite is.
They all matter, except Dolomite. Don't know what that stuff is. But hey, we lucked out. We probably made some bucks out of that one. Apparently,
wonder
there's
if
a mine
Actually,
near
actually,
one. Is mine somewhere south in Cebu? Apparently.
I don't know, but it was mined from Cebu, and why? Like I said, right? Like we're not exactly known for good sand. I mean, like we are known for good beaches and sand and whatnot, but like anybody that's actually from here, that's a joke,
inter-island relations, I guess.
right? I don't know to say that like, oh yeah, we have our sand from Cebu. Like, dude, that's terrible. People from Cebu will drive like 4 hours to the north to get good sand.
Yep.
Like 4 or
It's.
5 hours north to get good sand. The rest of the island, that's just little pebbles.
I mean, again, what is sand? Dear God, but yeah, I just love all the
Not like
spicy
sand.
memes and everyone just like screamed out, "Look at this! Look how small
Soft,
it is!"
silky.
My like, it's not the size; it's how it's utilized. But yeah, it's just that the crazy outrage over. Look at this! Look at how much they spent. Like, I feel like that's not the end of the project. At least in my head, I really hope that's not the end of the project.
No, it's not. I mean, we talked about this in a previous episode.
Yeah.
It was just one misguided step in an otherwise okay project.
And
Yep.
much delayed project.
Yeah, very much delayed project.
I mean, is there any project in the Philippines that's not delayed at this point? I mean, I'm amazed that in my area in Lapu-Lapu, they're finally working on the 4 lanes, which was actually approved back in the mid-90s.
My God, yeah,
And it's
dude.
only now that it's being worked on.
there's so much of that. There's so much of that the that airport that opened in Boracay was
Mm,
approved in the early 90s, or it was approved during the administration of Ramos.
yep.
That was when it started coming together. And it was only in the 2000s, right, that the airport opened?
See, they should have
So
done it
we're
like what we did. We just built that thing and said, screw it. We're making an airport. And we had like 7, 12 pending lawsuits, I think, about that. I don't know if those still exist or if they were finally sorted out.
Yeah, we'll just build an airport.
It's like, you need permission. Nah, we don't. We
we're
just
not
built
waiting
one.
20 years for this.
I
It's,
forgot
Feels
who was
like-
in charge that time to just decide, no, we're making an airport. But you need permissions. No, we don't. Just makes it. YOLO. Hey
We're
guys,
the
what's
government.
Yeah.
Oh
It's a
gosh,
port
they talk
for
about like
planes.
weird construction things. One that's now being really rushed. But in fairness, it's not a government project. There's a bridge being built here in Cebu between Cordova and Cebu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Because something is about Cordova, which is technically it's an island beside Lapu-Lapu. It's like 10 meters away. But I
Probably
guess it
less.
counts because there is a waterway that cuts both of them. So I guess it counts for some reason. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's kind of Cebu province, not Lapu-Lapu. So when we had the MECQ and everything, and they went to MGCQ, they were essentially still trapped in their small island because there's no way to escape. For them to escape, they'd have to enter an area that's higher quarantine. So they were just
Yeah.
perpetually trapped in their side of the island. So I'm sure
Yeah,
they're
that
like
was
looking at the
so
bridge,
bad.
build it faster. We need escape.
Yeah. Oh, that bridge has been around. That bridge has been planned forever as well.
Yep. Now at
It's
least it's being built, and at least it's a private group making it. So I feel like it might actually be built on time.
I mean,
yeah.
within their lifetimes.
Well, according to them, it should be built by 2021. But with Rona and everything, I don't know how that will go. I don't know if
Yeah.
they'll expedite it further so people can escape the island, or slow it down because there's not much people building. So that's also another dear God. I kind of want to. I guess it's the outrage section too. And now our HR
this.
team now has to actually find out where do people live upon hiring because of the issues with lockdowns. Essentially, if you live
Yeah,
within the
yeah.
city that the business is in, like, okay, your priority. If you live a few cities away, like, okay, you might be a problem. Just saying. Like one of our friends who handles construction, his office technically closed up, not because he wasn't an essential worker or anything, but all his staff were from Cebu province and they couldn't get into Cebu city.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, well, I have a business, but I have no staff because they can't enter the city. So what do I do with this?
Yeah.
It suddenly is a problem we never thought of looking at. Essentially, even the jokes like, whoever thought we'd have border control issues within the island?
Yeah, that was really weird. Like, throughout this whole like lockdown, the thing that's come into sharp relief is just how integrated this Tri-City area of Cebu is, right?
Yep.
Like right outside my house is like I'm from Cebu City, but right outside of my house is Mandaue. And during that weird 2 weeks when Cebu City was more heavily locked down than Mandaue, like we couldn't go into Mandaue, which meant
Yep.
what was once the nearest supermarket all of a sudden became like really far.
Yeah. Or even us, like just like trying to go into HMR or things which is in Hypermart, which is literally just a little bit into Mandaue. Like, no, this land does not exist to you anymore. You have not unlocked this territory yet. Please
Yeah.
return to your homes.
It's so
You're
You're
Same
not
thing.
weird.
authorized to enter this area.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, not supermarket. There's a BPI along AS Fortuna. There's a bank along AS Fortuna.
Okay,
That's
I know
the
which one you're
ne-
talking about. Yeah.
That's the nearest one to us. And like now we have to go all the way to like Talamban to get to the BPI. Like
The
all of a
weirdest one
sudden,
for me was the KFC in Mabolo. Half the KFC is in Mandaue, and half the KFC is in Cebu City.
yeah. Right? And
So the parking and the drive-through entrance is in Mandaue, but the restaurant area is in Cebu City. So you had to cross the border to enter it, so there were literally armed security and police there to make sure you're actually going there for the drive-through.
Yeah.
And people exiting the drive-through were returning back to Mandao if they had to go there. It's like, what a weird ground here.
Yeah. And there was there are some houses that sort of have Mandawi and Lapu-Lapu on.
Yeah.
In a weird sort of micro way. This is the problem with the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland
Ah, yes, yes,
and
yes.
Brexit. Anyway, that's something that I was reading on as well. Whoa,
How is
this
Brexit
so
now?
weird.
Progressing, I guess.
I mean, I understand last time I bothered to check was what was that? They're pushing through with it, but they didn't have
Yeah.
any plans.
Well, they
Has
had an
that
agreement.
changed?
They pretty much this is crazy, right? So the UK and EU hammered out a withdrawal agreement, which is kind of what they had to do, right? They had to create
Yeah.
a deal for the exit that included a lot of the stuff that they agree upon in the next few years, exactly after the UK makes its formal exit or whatever. And there was a part in this withdrawal agreement about the relationship between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland and the rest of the United Kingdom, right? Because
Yeah.
of the free flow of goods and all of that. And they hammered out a part of an agreement, that part of the agreement. And a couple of months later, the UK Parliament just writes a law that contradicts, quote, tries to override what they have in the withdrawal agreement.
Huh. Okay. That's
Which
interesting.
Which brings up the interesting question about international law, sovereignty, what's it? The supremacy of parliament, that sort of thing. Because it's essentially the UK doing what China did when there was that arbitral agreement or whatever. Oh no, the when there was an ICJ decision ruling on the South China Sea, West Philippine Sea, East Sea, depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
There was that decision by the ICJ, and China was just like, meh, we don't necessarily accept your, because there's that principle of sovereignty and statehood, like states are supreme and nothing is higher than the state.
Well, I'd like to think the UK, that would be the royal family, is higher than all of you.
Sort of, but then not really, because they have the supremacy of parliament.
True, but the Queen can essentially still override them, if I remember correctly. Isn't that what happened when they tried to stop things? The Queen just pretty much said, Parliament is off for now. Because I'm pretty sure they still practice URR,
Parliament?
don't they?
Yeah, but it's weird. This is another weird thing about the UK. They don't have a written constitution, so all of that
No.
stuff is just sort of understood, and it hasn't been tried. And I'm pretty sure that if the Queen were to try that power, there would be a bunch of discussion, and the royal family would then be deposed.
I mean, how though?
So-
Because again, if they still practice the idea of URR, or Ultima Ratio Regnum, I feel like they have a vote like Queen goes, I hear your vote. No. Like, we tried, guys. Bring it home.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's the thing, right? That's the thing.
I mean, sounds like they'll end
we
up
don't-
like
we don't
their
really-
American cousins. They'll start dumping. No, I don't think they'll dump tea into their harbor, but because, yes, overthrow the royal family. We are now free.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about the royal family.
We're now the
They-
52nd state.
They have power, but they don't have power. If that makes sense.
I get what you
it's-
mean.
it's
The thing is, they have a lot of
paradoxical in that way.
things. They have lots of things they could do that they generally don't practice, but technically there's nothing really stopping them from doing such. I think not like in Japan where pretty much their royal family purely is like a figurehead.
Yeah, Japan has a straight up constitutional monarchy. Huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas with the UK, it's something.
Like constitution.
What does that mean? Is that what you put into the tea?
But I don't know. Like they do have a constitution. It's just kind of
It's
understood. You know,
the
it's like
verbal
a
agreement among us.
yeah. Well, it's sort of I would describe the UK constitution as something that is zeitgeisty
Oh, okay.
in the sense that there is a general understanding that, say, this particular law from the parliament is constitutional in nature. There is an understanding that this particular document is constitutional in nature. This particular book by this particular work of authority, I think it's called. This particular book by this dude from like the 1800s is constitutional in nature. So it's just sort of an understanding that these are these principles, these laws, these publications are constitutional, and they can just pop in and out of constitutionality based on
That is so complicated.
the need of the time, right? Yeah. So um, it's flexible. Like you can just sort of change the constitution.
On the fly.
Yeah, that's kind of how that's kind of how the British Constitution works.
Huh, that's interesting. Very
Yeah.
volatile, but interesting.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about it, right? It is it is potentially volatile, but it isn't, or it that's not how it plays out. Like I'm pretty sure that if we introduced a system like that into, say, a place like the Philippines, we'd like fall into disarray. But they've been at it
Chaos.
for they've been at it for hundreds of years, and it seems to cobble along quite well.
Somehow. I mean,
Yeah.
give them time. They'll figure out how to mess it up. Once you put a good chance of it, exploding, generally there's a good chance it'll explode. It's like when you poison one bottle of wine, a batch of 1,000. You'll mostly be okay until that one day you're not.
There is what's it? With this whole Brexit thing, they've been saying that there's like a constitutional crisis or whatever, where we're not sure about what is constitutional or not. So this could be a tipping point, but I doubt it.
I feel like
I
they've
don't know.
been subjugated way too long for that to be that much of a thing.
Well, I don't know. Brexit is
I
quite
don't know enough
interesting.
about this.
I'm actually more curious to what's going to happen to that tunnel attached to France. So where's their choke point?
Actually, yeah,
ends.
because that's like a hard border. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you're gonna have to go through like a customs check before you get on that train.
Yep, and there's that even the tunnel that goes through it. You can drive through and things. I think.
Yeah, you take your
Yeah, you
car,
can
but
drive.
then
You're supposed to be able to drive.
but then you park it on a train, and then
Before
you
the
ride
entrance?
the train, and then like you drive out on the other side. So think of it like the Tanyan Strait,
park a
but instead
car
of
on a
boats, it's a
train?
train.
So I wanted. So that's
Yeah,
going
you
to
park
be
your car on the
interesting.
train.
So that means you'd have to bring in your passport, all these things.
Yeah.
So interesting, complicated, but I'm sure they'll somehow manage something, or
I
set
mean,
on fire. Really wanted to will happen.
it
I mean,
makes
do you think we are we're gonna actually be able to see something like that,
it
like
works
where
in
we park
Switzerland.
in the Philippines?
Oh, in the
I mean,
Philippines.
like just
You mean like the
a simple
underground
act of
tunnel,
just
or like
parking.
things sorted out?
Because that's kind of what we
Yes.
have with the Roro system, but instead of a train, it's on a boat.
Just boats.
I would
Yeah.
I would actually find that so interesting in somewhere in the far future where all our islands are just connected by a massive train system,
Oh,
like a
that'd be
massive
so
subway
cool.
of some sort. That'd be really cool. Suddenly, all the place seems
That
so
would be
reachable.
cool.
Yeah.
In the far, far
Take a bullet
future, when
train.
conventions come back to world.
This is my big frustration with this is my big frustration with the way politics works and how flip floppy everything is, right? Like who a good project comes in from this president, then somebody else, comes in and says, you know what, we're not going to focus on that project because it wasn't built here. And then after we have the 6 years of that president or whatever, we have another president that comes in that looks to the president before this one and brings up some of those old projects. And that's the only time they ever take off. That's why it took forever, right? And that's why things here take forever. Because our governments don't like to mm, continue what the immediately preceding government did to show that
Yeah, it's
they
kind of
were
hard
terrible,
to.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, the carryover project has been the most difficult thing
right.
to
And it
accomplish. That's why.
frustrates me. It frustrates me to no end because as much as I did not like her as a president, and she did so much damage to our internet infrastructure because of those stupid Hello Garci tapes. That should have been our ticket to freaking 5G, right?
Yep.
Um, that should have been our ticket to better like network infrastructure, but no, she had to screw it up. She had a really good idea when it came to the whole Roro thing with like all of them boats.
Yep.
Boats.
Be
Have
on a
that
boat.
entire
Be on a boat.
system. Um, have that entire system built out. That way you can just sort of drive. You know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm sure the airline industry would have been very upset with it, but
but then it's a completely different. It's a. It
You're just
is
providing
a.
options for people, man.
It's a different market. It's a different
Yeah.
market. The people that would have been pissed off would have been like shipping companies, but then the government would
oh,
just say,
true,
buy a
yeah.
boat.
Because the shipping companies, because one of the biggest things, what I prefer over the Roro over like the taking flights, if I go down to Bacolod, it's simply you can carry whatever weight you want on your car. You are
Yeah.
not restricted by that 20 kilos or whichever. It's how much you got there? A lot. Got it. Throw in the truck. Let's go.
Yeah, but
Throw
then
it
I
on the
would
boat.
think,
We're not gonna sink at all.
but the impetus for
Physics.
but the impetus for the Roro project was so that you could drive a truck from Cebu to Manila, or say from Cebu to Bohol,
Yeah.
carrying goods. That way there is,
Trade.
that way there is economic activity. So
Not
like
just that, you have different options to bring things, not just one sole option.
Yeah.
yeah, and I
Strengthening
would
your supply
think
line.
that I would think that the person that is going to Manila from Cebu wasn't the sort of primary audience, or wasn't the primary customer of this Roro system, but we would have been the beneficiaries of it, at least for sort of small scale inter island travel. Like I really love the drive from Cebu to Dumaguete,
Hmm.
and a big part of it has to do with that squeezing onto that boat in Santander, and then
Yep.
like that 45-minute boat ride, and then
I can imagine like local travel will have a boost. Like if you're able to go to like maybe take a flight to Cebu and then from Cebu take the Roro and just go around the Visayas Islands,
I
and
mean, a
it'll be a
simple
whole
thing
lot
that I
cheaper.
see here is people who take the Roro to shop at SM.
But
yeah,
There are people who come from different islands to come to Cebu to shop at SM. Then just because the port is so close by.
yeah.
To the extent I remember Seaside was even planning a way to get fast craft to land by SM Seaside.
Yeah, because it's the biggest mall in this part of in this little chunk of the Philippines.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you guys, you guys take your MRTs and your cars. Here, people take boats to go to the mall.
yeah, but
We fancy like
there
that.
the
Don't you have a boat, Norm?
but
No, there is no
after she wasn't
water.
what's it after she concluded her
It does when it
presidency.
floods. I've seen the pictures.
The subsequent presidents didn't continue building out the infrastructure that was originally planned, and that's quite frustrating.
Because it was under the previous leader's name.
Yeah,
And that's really the crux of it. Like, you can't finish somebody else's work because somebody else's name is gonna be on it, and your name's not gonna be on it, and you can't claim it because all the critics are like, no, but she started it, but I finished it. She
Yeah.
started it.
It's so annoying. And the other thing, it's such a tiny thing, but I really liked how she said we'll move the holidays to make long weekends.
Yeah, that
Oh, yeah,
one I
that-
never
that-
said.
that
Like,
part I
that's
like.
not how the holiday works.
That's not how the holiday works, but it makes so much sense.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense, but that's not the holiday. That's not how this system
but-
works at all.
That's true, but I imagine it has increased local travel.
Yes, I will agree to that, but it just goes to my like, so what are holidays? Like the day itself, I feel like the meaning of the day is kind of ripped away and just, the point of the holiday is just simply not be at work.
No, the point of the holiday for that time is make money, increase the economy.
You know but when it comes to holidays, I really don't think that the government should I don't think that the government should really care about what the holiday means.
Huh.
Right?
I guess from the
And
government
here's-
point of view, yeah. From the individual, I think like, especially if it's important holidays, I feel
Or
like we have to
religious
put meat
holiday.
in.
Yeah, no, especially if it's a religious holiday. If it's a religious holiday, the government should not care what it means. Because the moment the government starts caring about what a religious holiday means, then you're violating the separation of church and state.
Yep.
But Joao, we have a very caring government. It's rooted in our society. We care too much. All the disagreement on everybody's faces.
Yeah,
Except mine, because mine's blinds.
I remember though.
You
I
are such a
remember.
blind man.
I remember there was a case. There was an issue. I don't know if it was an actual case. I don't remember reading it, but there was an issue about whether or not we should have a Christmas break.
I mean, I feel like if they took that away, lots of people would be upset about that.
Yeah,
Children, employees who
but
work
then
far.
that,
Teachers who
that's,
wanted that break.
But then that's
Yes.
what's it? But then that would be the government acknowledging that Christianity is a more important religion, right?
Okay, I see
Best
where you're coming from
solution.
there. Yeah.
And so
Acknowledge
this would-
every
and so-
religious holiday.
And so what the no, and so the idea behind the holidays became this isn't something that is supposed to acknowledge the religious significance of, say, your Christmas break. This is something that's supposed to benefit everybody, and everybody gets to rest.
I mean, kind of like why like the summer break is not religious. It's purely because it's summer. It's back
Yeah,
in the
or,
times when you needed people to man the fields.
Yeah. So it's there was this
And other countries' Christmas break is pretty much the winter break.
yeah. It's the difference between it was the difference between having a Christmas break where everybody gets to benefit because it gives you rest. And when those court workers in Mindanao were asking for half a day off during Ramadan, that way they wouldn't have to be working while they're fasting. Right?
Right.
That is a break that would only benefit one religion, which is
Unless
the
you apply it
violation
to
of-
everyone.
Yeah, unless you apply it to everyone, which was probably a really bad idea. Right? Imagine like losing half a day of work for a few months, a year. But there, which is why I didn't see too much of a problem with moving holidays like that around. Precisely because I don't think the government should care about what the holiday means. all they should care about is the effect of the holiday on everybody that gets to benefit from it.
Okay, when put in
Fair.
that perspective,
Fair.
yeah, I can see the benefits of that.
And there was also the whole like 3-day weekends are always amazing.
Oh god, I forgot there's like one time there's a weekend that was like freaking 5 days. Like it's insane.
Yeah. But then the
Now
other thing
and
is,
right now we have a 6-month weekend.
yeah.
What?
But then the way
Pretty
it
Much
much
works
from
that
now,
March
no,
until
no?
now.
The way it works now, though, right, is you have the weekend, and then you have a holiday that's on Tuesday. So instead of the government moving the day off to the Monday, they keep it on
Monday
the
just becomes
Tuesday, and
and
Monday
Monday just becomes
becomes
like,
the day you file for a leave,
yeah, file a
and all,
leave here.
yeah, and all of a sudden you've dropped productivity as well,
Trying
Ah,
to make
efficiency.
right? So I don't know. That's my case for, and like yeah, if I have I will admit that if I have a weekend and then there is a Monday off, or there's a Monday and then your Tuesday is a holiday, you see a significant drop in the number of students that show up,
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
right? And
a lot of students suddenly get sick.
yeah, it's sort of like days when there are exams, right? Like a number of students will get sick. So,
Ah,
or when big deadlines come, students will get sick. Yeah,
Actually,
on
now that
those.
they're online, do they get sick, Joe?
well, as long as it's not the Rona.
Yeah. But
They're not dead.
it's a thing. It's
Be
weird.
online.
It's weird though because like there was
You don't have to be fine. Either.
there was once a time when like heavy rains would mean, do we have class today? Nowadays when there is heavy rain, it's like, okay, how many kids aren't going to be able to make it because our internet infrastructure is crap? Like,
Ah, yeah.
but the point is
Is the
we don't cancel
cloud
class.
covering the Wi-Fi?
Oh god, like the rolling blackouts now. Like these areas will have no school today.
Yeah. Oh my god. Actually, I like how they have announcements though. Like at least when they have these rolling like
You know.
blackouts or whatever, at least like we're prepared for it.
I wonder if that wasn't there a thing before. Is it nightpasok.com or something to check if you have class tomorrow? Will they now update it for the power outage? Nightpasok, no, power's out. Ain't going to school today.
I'm checking out that
Sorry,
site.
sir, we haven't been able to charge our devices, and the router is not connected to a battery of anything.
What does it say?
May pasok ba? Meron o wala? Ikaw na lang ang makakapagsabi. Because we're working from home. Right? That's amazing.
Well, I like how it's updated.
Fair.
And other things you check for update, you should check channel14.com for all the new update content and all the new shows. Joao, what do we have lined up
And
for
if
us?
you like our shows,
Oh
Yes.
yeah, you should totally get us on
We have-
Patreon, man. Yeah, we don't have
support the channel, support the content creators. Get me a real green screen, guys.
Because Zoom apparently doesn't like Norm's skin.
Oh, dude, this is so racist.
I like how the clear water will not be cropped out, but his
This
hands
is actually
will.
green. Can't see this.
I still can't get over it, right? The X's Anonymous thing. Martin really likes plugging X's Anonymous because that's kind of his baby in a way. Next week, I think we're going to be having some of the cast from X's Anonymous on Bodega Nights. So y'all can look out for that. X's Anonymous releases every Friday around 4 p.m. Philippine time ish, 3, and I can't remember when we scheduled it for, but it's on Fridays. It's pretty cool. Fiction, but one of those sorts of things.
Shows.
Yeah, it's a show like that. Radio Norm should be coming back pretty soon at some point. I hope. I don't know.
Yeah.
It
When
depends
anxiety
on
levels get high enough, you get an episode of.
yeah, when anxiety levels get high enough. We're finally going to record another episode of the class record, so that should be out at some point as well. We're going to be talking about technology and this whole teaching and the work from home setting. And looking forward to hearing, the experiences of different teachers because as much as it's been tough, I've been enjoying it. So, you know, that's pretty cool. Uh, Miko, Ironic Gamer, has a stream.
Yep.
Hmm,
He has a Twitch.
yeah, yeah,
Yep, and lots of new planned content for TWG on the YouTube, which will probably be cut up Let's Plays, not full-on stream. So if you want to check out on stream, that's cool too. But we'll probably have new content for the Third World Gaming YouTube channel.
yeah, man.
Speaking of
Speaking of
TWG,
speaking of third world gaming, dude, Martin
Yeah.
has been
Martin's been
interviewing
picking up
people
slack
quite a
on
bit, man.
TWG.
Yeah, ever since he canceled Jobber Talk,
Oh, I missed
he
that
needed
show.
he needed some sort of outlet for that. I actually want to talk to him on third
Martin
world
misses
gaming.
wrestling.
Yeah.
It's
Wrestling!
probably the new podcast is Martin misses wrestling.
So what's the
dude.
first thing we're going to play on TWG? We're going to stream WWE.
Actually, I want to get on. I want to talk to Martin on Third World Gaming about the Unity IPO. That's quite interesting.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Anyway,
Have you guys
those are
been,
things you guys should
heard of
make
this
sure you guys
game?
check out in channel14.com.
yeah, we're on
We're
Spotify.
also on YouTube.
I
Yeah,
forget
we're on
that we're
YouTube.
there.
Yeah,
Not Periscope, though.
Subscribe and drink your water. Or something. Hydrate.
Yep.
Apparently.
we should get like OnlyFans as well.